Wayne Bridge,
who
is a lovely man, by the way. And I hope you apologise privately.
No, I did.
Okay, so KSI has officially responded to 2 separate situations I covered in 2 separate videos. But before we get to KSI's responses, which was in the Sidemen podcast, I want to go over the situations that are mentioned here and what KSI is responding to. The first situation I'm going to tackle here is the Wayne Bridge situation. So basically, if you don't know what happened here, before KSI decided he was going to be boxing Dylan Dennis, he was originally meant to be fighting somebody called Wayne Bridge. But a comment that KSI made in the boxing ring to Wayne Bridge's face meant that Wayne Bridge felt uncomfortable and wanted to pull out the fight, which he subsequently did. This is what KSI said in the ring to Wayne Bridge.
Aren't you the guy that let John Terry smash your ex?
Oh, you want to go there straight away, dear?
I'm pretty sure that's what you're known for.
Okay, you go there.
Vanessa! Whoa! Vanessa! Whoa!
Before I let the rest of the clip play, I want to interject here and say it's clear that KSI is trying to sell the fight, right? Create a rivalry between him and Wayne Bridge. Of course, he probably doesn't actually think these things, and he's not going to be that mean to Wayne Bridge outside of the boxing fight, but this is to sell the fight, to create a story, to make people interested in this boxing fight that otherwise people wouldn't be interested in. I mean, regardless, people weren't interested in it and actually cheered when Wayne Bridge pulled out.
29th, you'll find out.
She jumped on Terry's dick. It made
You'll find out.
big boy feel sick. Vanessa, whoa! Vanessa, whoa! You really want this?
You wanted it, mate. You can get it.
Alright, then let's do it.
It's on it.
Let's do it, bro.
I think regardless, even though KSI was just trying to sell the fight, if Wayne Bridge felt uncomfortable, he has every right to pull out, because at the end of the day, he did it for his kids. He decided to pull out because he didn't want his kids seeing that clip or knowing the dirty laundry being aired out about, his wife and his whole family issues. So I really understand both sides here. Like, I get why both sides did the things that they did, but KSI did respond to this on the Sidemen podcast.
I can't believe.
Especially when you was fighting fucking Wayne Bridge, who
did you
is a lovely man, by the way. And I hope you apologise privately.
No, I did.
Because Wayne, he's lovely.
I privately DM'd him.
I mean, that's the pretty mature thing to do, right? Is reach out to Wayne Bridge privately, have a conversation with him, and, just apologise. Because at the end of the day, regardless, if KSI was just creating a story, a rivalry, a bit of tension to hype up the fight, Wayne Bridge didn't like that, didn't respond very well to it, so, it's good that KSI reached out privately.
And the thing is, I messaged him, bro, I'm not a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's got a lovely wife, kids.
No, I know, but
So I
we're
get it,
selling a fight, and I thought he should know.
I mean, I don't think it's a case of that he doesn't know that or knows that. I think it's just a case of that he feels like you overstepped it, especially seeing as his kids would be watching. I feel like he just feels like you went over the line, regardless if you were trying to sell the fight or not. I don't think it's a case of him being confused because he's an old man and has no idea what's going on. It's very much just a case of he's putting his kids and family first because they're watching at home. He doesn't want his kids to be hearing this or being subjected to this, and he had no idea that this was going to come up in the first place, and doesn't want this to come up in the future and for his kids to be subjected to, hit their parents' dirty laundry. And I think that's completely understandable.
It was quite a last minute thing, right?
Yes.
So I think maybe him, he was like, I can box, yeah, I'm down to do it. He had the fight with the other guy, was it Spencer from Made in Chelsea? I think that's a bit more of a respectful fight in that front, old school, whatever. So I think maybe he thought there's a chance of that, and maybe he wasn't fully versed on how those fights go down.
The world, yeah.
To be fair, he probably didn't think his dirty laundry like that would be used against him to, hype up a boxing fight, or maybe at least thought that KSI would reach out to him. Regardless of the details or whatever he thought, I think it's pretty straightforward. He didn't respond well to that, he pulled out of the boxing fight, and then at that point, KSI, like he did, should have just reached out privately and spoke to the guy, which happened. I think that's it. Case closed.
The world.
I mean, he's not part of this world. He's not.
I think day one in him. Bang.
That's crazy work.
Maybe we're trying to get his head day before, potentially.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, I mean, Wayne Bridge, I'm sorry. I've told you in DMs anyway, but yeah, my bad.
I mean, there was a pretty good response from KSI. He did need to be wrangled by the Sidemen at parts because he does get really defensive when anybody says anything against him or critiques him in any type of way. So he did need the Sidemen a little bit to wrangle him, but overall, it was a pretty good response. He apologized to Wayne Bridge when realistically, just an explanation about why he said it in the first place would have just sufficed. But, he's gone the extra mile to actually apologize. So the next thing that KSI responds to in this podcast is something that we covered a little bit ago, and that was to do with one of the Sidemen videos and KSI and Deji being called called out for their rude behaviour in the video. There were several moments within the video where Deji and KSI were just overly rude to waiters, servants, and people just trying to help them out. But to be fair to KSI, it was mainly Deji that was doing a lot of the rude behaviour.
Bruv, this is not it at all.
Is this where we're eating?
2 hours of sleep and I'm eating here.
Don't worry about that. You're just having a little starter here and we'll move up there.
That's example one. Pretty tame, but maybe you could say that KSI was being a bit negative, right? Not very open-minded for KSI, right? Like I said in the video, this clip makes it seem like I was scraping the bottom of the barrel for a topic.
Well,
what do you think?
That's
right.
It's definitely carbonara.
Yeah.
It's definitely food.
Enjoy, my friend, and thank you for your cooperation. I hope that...
That was the main clip that KSI was called out for in this whole thing by Sidemen fans. He got an incredible amount of hate for this one because he was very dismissive and very rude to this guy who had just cooked him some food. Honestly, like I said in my initial video, this is a lot of a nothing burger, right? It's just, you know, being a bit rude, that's about it, right? KSI being KSI, being overly negative, that was really about it. The main clip that I focused on in this video was to do with Deji mainly, speaking over a waiter and being very, very incredibly rude. You know, just not being very polite. But KSI did respond to some of the negative backlash that he faced because the Sidemen brought it up to him directly.
I think yours and Deji's trip to the Wonders was shit. I think you didn't approach it in the right mindset at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate? Or?
I just think you tried to dead absolutely every scene.
I mean, yeah, across the video, he wasn't very energetic. He was pretty negative. He wasn't excited about anything. You know, it made for a pretty boring section, which if you actually watch the video, you'd probably end up skipping over a lot.
And try and play that like dead persona.
I think that's just whenever I'm with my bro, it just happens.
But the poor Italian man in the pasta was bleak.
Yeah, he got
bleak,
fried.
Man. He made you a nice carbonara.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. From what I remember, it was just a very random video.
I mean, yeah, it might have been a random video. All he has to say to this is, yeah, I was a little bit rude. You know, I didn't bring the right energy to the video and leave it there. That's it. But to be fair, he doesn't seem like he's got a lot of energy here either. None of this is overly that important. It's just a critique that got brought up to KSI because he got a lot of backlash from Sidemen fans. A lot of it just completely unnecessary. You know, this isn't like some big situation that we've recently covered on the channel. It's just, you know, a response.
In JJ's defense, I think it's hard to find things in central Rome that are like exciting to do. I enjoyed the canoes. The canoe part was maybe the funniest part of the whole video.
Yeah,
that was like peak.
People have to remember, I've done so many crazy things. So
that's his favourite topic.
To disagree with your point.
Here comes KSI's arrogance, right? This is what we expect from KSI. His incredible arrogance, thinking that, you know, because I've done so much, I'm better than everyone else or whatever. And, you know, I just find ordinary things, you know, boring. But nothing in that video was overly boring or should give the reaction he had. I think KSI's just shit at vocalizing it. If he just said, yeah, I didn't really have fun with that video and just moved on, I think that's it. But saying that, oh, I've done so much crazy things, so this was pathetic to me. You know, it just gives off a bad vibe.
Okay.
You went into it closed-minded.
Yeah. Big time.
And it said it. It showed over your faces.
Big time.
And you're lucky we saved you in the edit, to be honest. So.
Yeah, fair.
I think it's really interesting to see KSI respond around the Sidemen and the Sidemen having to wrangle him and, you know, really push for an answer instead of KSI's usual responses where, you know, he's very egotistical, puts up a lot of the things and, you know, puts the blame on others. Here he's having to address things that, you know, otherwise he wouldn't really address, or if he did, he wouldn't address them properly. I'm not saying him being rude in a video needs to be addressed properly, just, you know, in terms of content creation, making videos and stuff like that, he wouldn't have given a good answer whatsoever and it would have just looked poorly on him, like when he was trying to be a bit egotistical there. But that's it for KSI's insane responses. I did just want to make this video because I've already covered these two stories on the channel, so I really wanted to just make this to, you know, conclude them two arcs. But thank you everyone for watching today's YouTube video. Please tell me your thoughts on this whole situation, KSI's response. Please feel free to leave that down below in the comments. Once you're down there, you might as well smash the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a future upload. But I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Hopefully not about KSI, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Please God save me.